There is a kind of power that never announces itself. It doesn't raise its voice, it doesn't demand attention, it doesn't prove anything, and yet it quietly shapes outcomes, relationships, and entire lives. That power is the ability not to react. In a world that constantly provokes, pressures, and pulls at your emotions, not reacting is not weakness, it is mastery. And once you truly understand what it means, you begin to see just how rare, disruptive, and transformative this ability really is. Most people live in reaction mode without realizing it. Something happens and immediately their emotions respond. Someone speaks and they feel compelled to answer. A message arrives and they rush to reply. An insult is thrown and anger rises instantly. Life becomes a series of emotional reflexes. Reaction feels natural because it is automatic. It requires no effort, no awareness, no restraint. But power has never lived in what is automatic. It lives in what is chosen. Not reacting doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you feel without surrendering control. It means you allow emotions to rise, but you don't let them drive. Between what happens to you and what you do next, there is a space. Most people collapse that space to zero. You don't. And in that space, everything changes. When you stop reacting, you stop giving away control. Every reaction is a form of permission. Permission for others to dictate your emotional state. Permission for situations to hijack your inner balance. Permission for external chaos to become internal chaos. When you don't react, you reclaim authorship over your inner world. You decide what deserves your energy and what does not. This is why not reacting feels so uncomfortable at first. Reaction gives the illusion of relief. It releases tension outward. It feels like action. Silence, restraint, and pause feel like pressure building. But that pressure is not dangerous. It is discipline forming. It is strength being forged. It is your nervous system learning that it doesn't need to explode to survive. People who master non-reaction tend to see situations differently. While others see provocation, they see information. While others see attacks, they see projections. While others see urgency, they see opportunity to slow down. This shift in perception is not accidental. It comes from understanding a fundamental truth. Most things are not personal, even when they feel like they are. When someone tries to provoke you, their goal is not resolution. It is reaction. Reaction validates their emotional state. It confirms their power. The moment you react, the moment you raise your voice, defend yourself impulsively, or lash back, you have already lost leverage. But when you don't react, something unexpected happens. The dynamic collapses. The provocation has nowhere to land. This is why not reacting feels threatening to some people. They rely on emotional exchanges to feel seen, powerful, or relevant. Your calm becomes a mirror they didn't ask for. Your silence becomes a boundary they can't cross. And boundaries, when unspoken and firm, are far more powerful than arguments. Not reacting also sharpens clarity. Emotional reactions cloud perception. They narrow your focus to the emotion itself. When you don't react, you can see the situation as a whole. You notice patterns, you see motives, you recognize cycles repeating. This awareness allows you to respond later with precision rather than impulse. There is a difference between reaction and response that most people never learn. Reaction is immediate, emotional, and unconscious. Response is delayed, intentional, and aligned. Response requires awareness. It requires patience. It requires confidence in your ability to handle discomfort without discharging it onto the world. This is where the real power lies. Not reacting trains your nervous system to tolerate intensity. You become less fragile, less easily shaken, less dependent on emotional release. Over time, things that once triggered you lose their grip. Not because you've numbed yourself, but because you've outgrown the need to prove, defend, or explain. People who don't react often intimidate others without trying. Not because they are aggressive, but because they are unpredictable in a world that expects emotional predictability. When someone insults you and you remain calm, they don't know what to do next. When someone tries to rush you and you slow down, they lose control of the interaction. Calm disrupts manipulation. There is also a deep self-respect embedded in non-reaction. You don't owe everyone access to your emotions. You don't owe explanations to every provocation. You don't owe closure to every conflict. Choosing not to react is choosing yourself. It is deciding that your peace is more valuable than winning a moment. This ability often develops through experience. People who have suffered enough know that reacting rarely improves outcomes. They've seen how words spoken in emotion linger longer than silence ever could. They've felt the cost of losing control. Over time, they learn restraint not as suppression but as wisdom. Not reacting also changes how people treat you. When others realize they cannot easily provoke you, they either respect you more or avoid you entirely. Both outcomes are beneficial. You filter your environment without saying a word. You attract people who value stability and repel those who thrive on chaos. There is a quiet confidence that grows when you stop reacting. You no longer feel the need to prove your intelligence, your worth, or your strength. You know who you are. You trust your timing. You understand that the loudest voice is rarely the strongest one. If this perspective feels familiar, it's because part of you already lives this way, and understanding it more deeply helps you protect it instead of questioning it. Staying connected to insights like this allows you to refine a skill that most people never even realize exists. Choosing to stay subscribed becomes less about content and more about continuing alignment with a deeper way of moving through life. Not reacting also frees up enormous mental energy. Emotional reactions are exhausting. They replay, they linger, they demand justification. When you don't react, you conserve energy. You remain available for what actually matters. Your mind becomes clearer, your focus sharper. In relationships, non-reaction is transformative. It prevents escalation. It creates safety. When someone is emotional and you remain grounded, you give the situation room to settle. You don't mirror chaos, you regulate it. This doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect. It means you address it when clarity returns, not when emotions are peaking. Many people confuse non-reaction with passivity. This is a mistake. Passivity avoids action out of fear. Non-reaction delays action out of strength. The difference is intention. You are not ignoring problems, you are choosing the right moment to address them. There is also a spiritual dimension to not reacting. It requires detachment from ego. Ego demands immediate defense. Ego wants to be right, seen, validated. When you don't react, you step outside ego's grip. You operate from awareness rather than identity threat. This alone changes how deeply life can affect you. Not reacting teaches you patience in a world obsessed with immediacy. It trains you to wait without anxiety, to pause without panic, to hold silence without discomfort. These are rare skills, and rare skills create rare outcomes. Over time, you may notice that people begin to open up to you more. Your calm makes others feel safe. They sense that you won't overreact, judge impulsively, or escalate emotionally. Your presence becomes grounding. You become someone others trust with their truth. If you're still listening, it's because this isn't abstract to you. It's lived, and continuing to explore this path strengthens it. Staying subscribed ensures you remain connected to ideas that respect restraint, depth, and inner authority rather than emotional noise. Not reacting also protects you from regret. Many regrets are born from moments of emotional impulsivity. Words spoken too fast. Decisions made too hot. Silence, in contrast, rarely creates regret. You can always speak later. You can never unsay what's already been released. There is also a strategic advantage. When you don't react, you gather more information. You let situations reveal themselves fully. Others expose their intentions while you remain unreadable. This asymmetry gives you leverage. You act with knowledge rather than assumption. As you move through life, you may notice that your circle changes. Some people leave because they can no longer trigger you. Others stay because they value your steadiness. You don't chase either outcome, you simply remain centered. Not reacting doesn't make life emotionless. It makes it intentional. You still feel joy, anger, sadness, excitement. You just don't let those emotions dictate your behavior. You choose when to act, when to speak, when to walk away. And perhaps the most powerful part of not reacting is this: it restores your sense of inner authority. You are no longer at the mercy of external stimuli. You are no longer pulled into every emotional storm. You stand where you are, grounded, while the world moves around you. In a culture that rewards outrage, impulsivity, and constant expression, choosing not to react is revolutionary. It is quiet rebellion. It is self-respect in motion. And once you experience the freedom that comes with it, you realize that true power was never about control over others. It was always about control over yourself. Staying calm, staying deliberate, staying aware, these are not small things. They are the foundation of a life lived on your terms. And as long as you continue to choose non-reaction over impulse, clarity over chaos, and intention over reflex, you will continue to move through the world with a strength that doesn't need to announce itself. Quiet, steady, unshakable.